Okay, here I am in Dual Universe. I'm going to give an update. I'm in this test shard, this test world where you don't have to pay, and they reset it every week. So whatever you do is going to be lost every week. But this is for people who just want to learn about Dual Universe. So I'm just trying to see how it's going to work and how much I can get done in just a few days' time. I already had installed my base, there it is, and I already had gotten my speeder, and I had to readjust the surface of the area here so I could put down a factory. So I flattened this all out. Now my speeder's flying away up here. I'm going to use my movement tool to just move it down here to a flat spot where I can get into it easier. I've got that on number 7. It's called the maneuver tool. Now my next step is, now that I've got my factory installed here, let's see, I'm going to push B and go into build mode. Now I can see what this is. It's in the basic assembly line S. The next step is to input and output containers for the factory. So I've got one basic container XS already installed. So let's get the other basic container XS. Put it on equip mode. And I'll just stack it right there next to that one. Alright, now we go to number 6 here. In the build mode, we've got a different menu of tools. This number 6 is Link Elements tool. So from there, from the assembly line, I want to go out to my output box. I usually put my input on the top and output on the bottom, so that'll help me remember. It's like gravity, it goes from top to bottom. Alright, now when you shine your Link Elements tool on the factory, you can see which direction it's going from those arrows. Input comes from the top, output goes to the bottom. Now, my next goal is I'm going to build some larger containers. I'm going to look at basic container S here in my Nano Crafter, and as you can see, if I show Nano Craftable open only, it doesn't come up. I have turned that off. So what that means is when I go to study my basic container S, I have to look down here at Craftable, and I see that it can be crafted in basic assembly line M. So let's check and see what we have here. Basic assembly line S. So the problem is I have a basic assembly line S, but I don't have a basic assembly line M. So now I guess I have to build a basic assembly line M. Let's see if I can build that with the Nano Crafter. No. So you can build your basic assembly line XS and your basic assembly line S with the Nano Crafter. But to build the basic assembly line M, we've got to use basic assembly line S. It says right there. And you can use some of these other various different assembly lines. I've never worried about those because I haven't got advanced enough to do rare or advanced or uncommon assembly. Usually I just assemble basic stuff, so I just stick with these. So we've got the basic assembly line S, and now we need to build a basic assembly line M. To do that, we're going to have to get some parts. Need 36 screws. make 40 of those at once. Need 25 basic power systems. So I'm going to need 100 connectors and 150 aluminum iron alloy. Oh boy, I'm going to need some more. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, is I'm just going through each part. Need 100 of these and generating what I need. Need 100 basic connectors. So not only do I need more AlFe alloy, I also need basic connectors, and they're made out of AlFe alloy. So I need 150 here, plus I need 100 basic connectors, and I've only got 2. So I have to I'll make 5, and then I'll make 5 more. That's going to use 100. So I needed 2 more and 100 more, so I needed 102. So now we make at least 102 AlFe. So I'm going to need some iron and okay. I was using the silicon to make the floor, and I ran out. That's why the floor doesn't cover the whole bottom of the base. So to finish my floor, I'm going to need more silicon. Like I'm using painted red silicon. So I could make some more of that. I've already got it in the queue. All I need is more pure silicon. Okay, now we're looking good. Now I can go away for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 12 minutes. So that's what I'm going to leave it at right now. I'll go ahead and I can't really add the basic assembly line M to the queue because I have to build it in the basic assembly line S. The only other component I'm going to need before I can start using the assembly line S to build an assembly line M is I hit Control K and look at my schematics. Basic container S. Now I already built this schematic earlier, so I already have it in my bag. It's a tier 1 5-element schematic copy. So let me look and see. If I have a tier 1 small, there it is. I've got some tier 1 extra small and tier 1 small. Got 5 of those. So I'm ready to go on the schematic. That's the change they made on the schematics for this new release. Instead of having the schematic with the name of the item on it, you just make them in batches of small, extra small, medium, whatever. And your NanoCrafter can make copies of them for you. You don't have to go all the way down to the auction house and buy individual schematics anymore. So that's one of the things that's better about this release. However, there is a drawback to that method. Every time you make an item, it uses the schematic up. So now, instead of having to go a long way and pay a lot of money for a schematic that you get to keep forever, the way it works now is every time you do one, it uses it up. So it's a lot cheaper to get it in the first place, but once you have it, you use it up, you have to make more schematic copies. So eventually in the long run, it's going to cost more, but it's also convenient to just make them as you go. Alright, I'm going to come back in 10 or 12 minutes and see if I'm ready to put something on the factory and get it started. Bye.